What's the theme for the show today? The theme for the show is going to be Ben Ben now. Lot of fantastic deals. Lewis Hamilton looks like he's finally ran off the court. No thanks to Alonso that dragged him down. Of course, Tyson Fury wants 500 million pounds for the next fight to happen and come out of retirement. The Champions League is back. The best after the EPL is back. A lot of actions, a lot of things to be talked about today. My name is Sunaleja Adeboale. He's still the best show on the whole of the universe. His news is Tata Sports here, and of course, the Bad Radio Scope on Twitter, on YouTube Live, and of course on Twitch. I have my guest with me today. We are missing Akuka G, but I have Oluwaseyi and by the side, of course, I have the football god. I have an ally with me. Sheyi, go first, please.
Hello, sport fans around the world. You're welcome to this week's edition. And I'm very sure you'll be having a fantastic time with us today. Great weekend anyway, let me say great week for Manchester United fans. It seems the ETH boys are back. Don't let me say they're back. They are probably picking themselves up gradually with 2 wins, especially the important win against arch rivals Liverpool, following up with the win at Southampton. Hopefully, they get to sign Anthony in the course of the week and actually go on a winning run. Thank you, everyone. I am welcome to the show today.
All right, perfect. I think Olawale is frozen right now. I can't see Olawale for some strange reasons. So
can you see me?
When yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead, Olawale. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, good day, sporting fans. Good day, sporting fans around the world. Welcome to the show. I'm sure you're going to have a nice time here. We have a lot to cover across all sports, from basketball to Formula One to football. A couple of things happened in the world of football this weekend. Some crazy deals, some deals which I probably can't imagine. For Wesley Fofana to Chelsea for over £75 million. Anthony to United, that should be over 70, almost another 75 million pounds deal, like 100 million euros.
100 million euros.
And Chelsea bidding for Gordon. Chelsea bidding for Anthony Gordon for in excess of 50 million pounds, and that is being rejected. I can't just catch my breath. It's a whole level of insanity in the world of football now.
All right, perfect. Sheyi, I'm going to be coming to you straight. I'm not going to start with Wally today, as against the number. I'm going to come to you, and like we said before during the pre-production call, the fact that Tyson wants to come back out of retirement, and that's not Mike Tyson. For our listeners, is Tyson Fury. He wants to come out of retirement, and he's saying before he can fight against Usyk, which must be determined before the end of next month, he wants 500 million pounds. That's £500 million for the fight. And at first glance, I thought, oh, this is crazy. Why would you want 500 million pounds? And he made a very, very good and tangible point that if Mayweather could get 400 million or 300 million fighting against a supposed non-boxer in Conor McGregor, so why should he go for less than that? And that makes a whole lot of sense to me. Maybe commercially, like you pointed out, it's not the best commercial fight. Fury versus Usyk, maybe not, because McGregor of his antics, Money Mayweather because of his antics as well, flashy guys, show guys. The pay-per-view is going to be crazier with those guys than Tyson Fury. But these are world heavyweight champions, if you ask me. But I needed to sample your opinion about that, Sheyi.
Yes, I think, to be sincere, Tyson Fury was probably disappointed that Anthony Joshua didn't get to win those belts back. Because commercial-wise, I think Fury Joshua would have been a bigger fight. No doubt about that. Would have sold probably the Wembley Stadium, to the Wembley Stadium would have been packed to the rafters. And
Yeah.
I guess that is part of what Tyson Fury was looking at. No disrespect to Alexander Usyk. He's a fantastic boxer. He has made his mark now as a champion by
Yeah.
beating
One of the
Joshua twice.
twice
But
exactly.
but commercially, you can't compare what Tyson would have been able to amass fighting Joshua. To be sincere, you were talking about Mayweather and Conor McGregor. I think those were two great sportsmen in their
Yeah.
different respective what's it called sports, the
Yeah.
twilight of their career. It was really a bout, or let me say an occasion to really make money. Mayweather is up there talking about making good money when it comes to fight. You can recall the Manny Pacquiao Mayweather fight also. It was a
Yeah.
record breaking fight also. So Mayweather was already about the money when it comes to his bouts. And I guess Conor McGregor also was a top, UFC guy also. It actually was a fantastic deal for Conor than
That of
Mayweather,
course that
because
yeah,
if you
yeah of
compare
course.
both sports, if
What
you
they got.
compare both sports, boxing is more lucrative.
Yeah, of
So
course, 100%.
Tyson is just trying to secure, the bag, and even though he knows that this particular bout is gonna be his bout, I believe he's still going to win. Anybody's going to face when it comes to
Yeah.
the heavyweight. What's it called?
Convincingly to you need to
Convincingly
add
at the
that.
moment, but he wants to secure the bag because he knows that after this he will probably announce his retirement. And just to also say something, Tyson
Uh-huh.
Fury is not retired. He's not coming out of retirement.
Oh, okay.
All those are just antics. I
Just
think he's
just
just
antics.
yes, he's just trying to build up a proper fight that is going to give him a proper hurrah, and he can retire.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Shay. Malali, I want to come to you now. Pat Bev signing for the LA Lakers. Wonderful. You sound not to be you seem not to be excited about it, but I am. Miss is saying the first I saw one of his reviews and it was like that was like I think 2 years ago or last year that if it was supposed to be traded out, it will go to the LA Lakers. And why? He feels no disrespect to LeBron. That's quoting him now. He said no disrespect to LeBron. The LA Lakers does not have a leader, so he's going to come in as the leader and tell LeBron what to do. That's a big statement, if you ask me. And I feel if he can back it up with whatever it is that he can do with his hands, it's going to be a long shot for the Lakers. Olade. Yeah. Olade seems not to be with us today. For me, I feel it's going to be a
No,
big
I mean,
statement.
hello,
Okay.
hello, Debo.
Okay. Go
Sorry,
ahead,
I was
Olade.
I was muted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised by the deal. I wasn't expecting the Lakers to do this, but again, one thing you can't take away from Pat Beverly is you can't take away his toughness. He brings that every night. He might not be the most talented point guard, whatever it lacks when it comes to, let me say, playmaking. It brings it when it comes to effort. Yeah, of course, I think it's going to add some bit of defense to the Lakers team. But for now, the question I can't really answer now is he going to go straight into the starting five? Is he going to be among the reserves or a role player? So those are the questions that probably in the coming months we'll get to know better.
We'll get to see.
And he actually has an history with what do you call him? Russell Westbrook. They've been, let me say, the best of. I don't want to use the word enemy, but there is this front and back between both of them, dating back to I think when Pat Beverly was playing for the Clippers, and when Russell Westbrook was still with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So interesting to see how they are going to gel together as as
as a
teammates,
teammate.
or
Yeah,
probably Russell Westbrook, like it's been speculated, or all around through the summer, he probably will find his way out of the
of
Lakers,
the
probably
Lakers.
against his wish, but that let's see let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes. But again, it brings in the toughness. How it's going to help the Lakers generally in terms of elevating them to a championship team is what I can't really answer for now.
No, but realistically, Olawale, nobody would expect Lakers to be in a championship level. Maybe a playoff. That's the best they can hope for. Not with LeBron as your A and your number one. Would you expect to be at the championship level? And AD, for all we know, is not going to come out. He's not going to come out until maybe mid-season and probably tell us he's injured again. So I'm not expecting anything from the Lakers. Maybe a playoff, and that would be better than enough, if you ask me. Or what do you think, Olale?
Yeah, yes, like I said, yeah, I don't see it as let me say a franchise changing move. It's not a move that I would you would think of like, okay, this has elevated
This
the
is going to
Lakers
change
from
it.
probably
Yeah,
a fifth seed to a number one seed. Like, of course, it's going to bring in that toughness, that defensive toughness to the Lakers. But I think one of the problems the Lakers have is the Lakers is an aging team. They need to get a bit
exactly.
younger. The roster needs to get
Younger.
younger.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what they don't
100%.
have. If you look at it, there is this tiredness that set into their game late into the fourth quarter. And of
Fourth
course,
quarter.
you can't expect 34, 35-year-old to see have the same legs like what
Yeah,
do you call it,
exactly.
like the young
Exactly.
guys. So I
Yeah,
think it's one
exactly.
area. A Pat Beverly was probably a very younger version. Even Pat Beverly is not on age, is not really that on his own side on
Uh huh. Uh huh.
to
Uh huh.
to think of it for. So I
Yeah.
just I don't think I don't think it's an inspiring, what do you call it, trade
Move.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really
Yeah.
inspiring. But let's see
Yeah.
how it goes, and let's see the other trades the Lakers are, because they don't really have too many weapons to
To rely
use to
on.
trade for to trade for any meaningful star for now. So let's see how it goes. And the only weapon they have that they could trade, and which I don't think anybody will be interested, is Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook. Yeah, yeah. All right, perfect. And of course, KD was on the show at James Harden's birthday party, and Harden looks like he is ready for the new season, tossing off his cake. Like, okay, I don't want this cake. I'm on my diet, strict diet right now, and it's gonna be a good one for me. I'm talking about KD. There's a full assertion now from the franchise. The Brooklyn Nets, that KD will be staying back in New York. And they came out this morning to say Kyrie is not up for trade. So the Clippers, the Lakers can forget about Kyrie for the next season. Looks like the trio of Ben Simmons, Kyrie, and of course KD will be staying back in New York. Olale, this is a fantastic news for the Brooklyn Nets, if you ask me. Fantastic news for them. And of course, do you think this would elevate them to a possible championship winning side if these three guys can get their acts together? Olale.
The moment KD and Kyrie signed for the Brooklyn Nets in the summer of, I think, 2019, of course, having two of the biggest stars in the league in your team, you are already a champ. You should be a championship contending
Winning
team.
side.
They have always been a championship contending team, if not for the fact that a lot of factors are probably
Responsible
gone
for.
against them. Yeah, and majority of them are probably a self-inflicted what do you call it,
Problem.
problems. So, but looking at it generally, yes, for me, I think I'm happy with this because from two, I want to look at this issue from two perspectives. Number one, from the contract perspective, I've been saying it on this show for over 5 episodes that since KD requested for that trade, that I don't see it happening. And this is the reason why. It is not because KD is not a powerful superstar, but it's because KD just signed a 4 years contract extension, which means Brooklyn Nets has the advantage. 4 years, and KD is not the kind of player that I think would probably want to go on strike that I'm not going to play until you trade me. No, I don't think that is what KD wants for it. That I don't think that is what KD wants for his career at this point in time. So it is advantage the Brooklyn Nets. They are not really under pressure to trade him. It's different from if KD has a year left from his contract, or 2 years. That one now, it's a different ballgame entirely. And again, the Rudy Gobert trade that took him from Utah Jazz to the Minnesota Timberwolves has actually made things difficult, because if Utah Jazz could get 2 players and 6 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert, I don't know what you have to offer for KD to make, because let's think of it. Actually, when 2 teams involved in trade like this, it's very hard to see both sides coming out like, okay, victorious, like, okay, it's a win-win. It's actually situation. One side winning and one side probably losing. But this case, it's not going to be a small loss. It's going to be an extreme big loss for the
Brooklyn Nets.
For the Brooklyn Nets. So from that, I've always of the view that KD, for me, the best thing is for him to stay.
It's better.
And again, there were news coming out that a lot of teams were reluctant to break up their squad to KD due to the history. KD come across someone who seems not to be predictable to a lot of GMs. So most of them are not ready to take that risk, and probably they don't know what will happen. They can trade for KD today, and probably next year, it might say KD wants to move. That's from the contract point of view. Now, from the leadership point of view, I think this is the best thing for KD and for his legacy.
KD, and Alali, I agree with you 100%. And the reason why I'm agreeing with you is the fact that even if KD leaves and he goes to another franchise, they probably trade away all the good players that KD will play with on that franchise.
So it doesn't make any sense. And again, looking at the leadership point of view, I think KD shouldn't be running away from issue. You are a leader. This is a franchise you can call your own. I
disagree with you, and I'm pretty sure we've established it on this program. The fact that KD is not a leader. That's not the truth.
Of course, that's what
we're just a docile player. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is this: it doesn't make him look good leaving Brooklyn, probably running to Miami or running to a Phoenix Sun. This is where you can build. First, the issue. What is the issue you guys are having? Commitment.
Yeah.
First, Kyrie on a one-on-one. You guys should talk like a brother. Confront Ben Simmons. This is a roster. I think when you have these 3 guys, in terms of talent-wise, you should be competing. Whatever is the reason why you guys think you can't compete, or the reason why whatever thing you think is holding this team back, this can be sorted out.
If
you guys talk to yourself one-on-one. You should not be running away from one issue or the other. I think it's a good one for the franchise, and I think Kyrie too probably overestimated its importance.
His own importance.
When you actually was demanding for a contract extension based on at the end of the day, I'm happy for the Brooklyn Nets as a franchise, not really succumbing to that early pressure and allowing the whole issue to play itself out. And I think at the end of the day, everybody is coming back to their senses and thinking that Kyrie have this year to justify if he actually worth a 4 year or 5 years contract extension.
But the problem, the stress is still there at the Nets. I strongly feel, I know Kachi differ about it, but I strongly feel if Steve Nash is still going to be the coach going into this season, we probably will not see the best of these guys.
Well, the issue is this. I think beyond Steve Nash, the Brooklyn Nets will need to be a bit creative and do a little bit of twinkling to their roster. They have a Ben Simmons now who is a defensive-minded guy who could probably guide any player from any position, from point guard to the power forward position.
Yeah.
Is actually, I think they will need a bit. I think their front court, they are a bit short. They don't have enough talent in the front court, small
Okay.
forward, center, and the power forward. I
Is
think they
is
will need to bring in.
is Blake Griffin
Now,
leaving?
we don't know. I think he was on a what do they call it? Veteran contract. I
Veteran
don't know whether
contract.
it's going to. And for me,
Wow.
Blake Griffin, with all due respect, is already washed. I think because you can't expect consistency from Blake Griffin. You can see
Yeah,
one
yeah,
good
true
game,
that. True
two,
that.
three
Yeah.
bad games, and again, they've settled about the core guys have already. They are buying into the projects now. At least run it for one more year, which is what I've always advocated for.
Advocated.
It's early. It's early. We never know. We never know. Steve Nash might not be there. Anything can happen. It's the NBA, and there is no other.
Honestly, I hope Steve Nash is not there.
Sport. There is no other sport that serves you unexpected drama like the NBA. A lot of people have been
100%.
calling for Mark Jackson to take over. And Mark Jackson was the man responsible for laying the foundation. He's currently a co-commentator on ESPN. On ESPN, he was the one responsible for laying the foundation for the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
When
Okay.
he was responsible for that. He was the one that made that statement that when I think he made that statement around 2014 or 13 that Klay Thompson and Steph Curry will go down as the best backcourt, as the best shooting backcourt of all time. And a lot of people look at it like this man is crazy. And for now, I think now whatever he said,
he has been vindicated.
Of course. So
yeah,
a lot. Yeah. I think there's still a lot of time to probably Steve Nash might
get their acts together.
And don't be surprised if Steve Nash is giving the vote.
Yeah, 100%. For me though, I for the project to elevate and achieve what they have to achieve, even with Ben Simmons, KD, and Kyrie keeping fit, Steve Nash can be there. That's just my opinion. Anyways,
I think the team basically the team needs accountability. They need somebody who can hold those guys accountable, who can look at KD, who can look to KD in his eye, look at Kyrie and tell them the truth. I think that is what 100%. Not somebody who is going to pamper them and ready to give them whatever they want.
But can Steve Nash do that? One, he can't. Can he give them the technical and tactical input? He cannot. So what's the use? Anyways, we'll go straight to the football world where we'll be talking about a couple of crazy transfers. I'm pretty sure we spoke about Gordon last weekend. 50 million pounds with 10 million pounds as add-on, be rejected. He actually did score a first goal for Everton over the weekend against Brentford, I believe. Against Brentford, I believe. Yeah, he scored his first goal for Everton. Sheyi, I'm going to start with you. I know we talk about these things and it's funny. It's funny. The kind of pressure they bring up on this kind of kid's shoulder, going to a big club like Chelsea for 60 million pounds. No disrespect to him, no disrespect. I'm not sure he can cut it at Chelsea. Honestly, this is a team that expects to win trophy season out. You are coming in as maybe a 20-year-old boy, a teenager, or posting, just posting, and you're expected to earn so much. They are paying so much for you, and to whom much is given, much is expected, right? So I think it's unfair on this kind of kids, honestly.
Debo, anyway, I really don't understand what Chelsea is trying to do. In recent time, I think they really failed with their wing players. And I think they made a fantastic signing talking about Sterling. So at the moment, I still don't understand why they are going for Gordon. They have a clear problem with a striker. they've not really signed a striker. They've not replaced Lukaku, appropriately. So I don't understand why they are going in for Gordon in the first place. And I think initially when Everton rejected the deal, they should just have had a rethink that, are we really sure that this is what we want? Because I really don't understand.
I don't understand.
This is a burden. It's still burden, He's 20 years old thereabouts. He has not even, I can't say
he has not even established
anything.
himself. He's
established
himself at Everton.
In that Everton team. And don't let us forget that even the Everton so-called team is a struggling team. So
Exactly.
if you kind of put the likes of Gordon in a Chelsea team that you have big stars, there is big expectation.
Exactly.
You understand, a fantastic stadium, playing the Champions League. You are just exposing him to failure at that age. And that kind of failure, it might not come back from it for the rest of his career. So for me, I would have even advised Gordon and his representatives to just calm down on this kind of interest. He should stay back at Everton. I think what Everton is facing at the moment, if they pull through, will actually be a fantastic experience for Gordon himself. He will be part of the players that will benefit for whatever that they are facing right now. If they eventually stay up and they build towards stability.
Just to add something to it, and I just wanted to just oppose both situation. And people are like, okay, Wayne Rooney went to United for £30 million at the very. I'm like, Wayne Rooney was an established star. We saw the writing on the wall after he broke Arsenal's 37 or 32 unbeaten run. He's a special player.
Wayne Rooney was a generational talent.
Exactly.
That is just a statement. Wayne Rooney is different. Before Wayne Rooney went, Before Wayne Rooney went to Manchester United, he went to the Euros. It was almost the highest scorer in the Euros.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the heart of England team at Euros. That's a team that had the likes of Lampard and Gerrard. So you can never compare Wayne Rooney to a Gordon. That is like comparing. I don't want to even make the comparison. Like I said, Wayne Rooney is a generational talent, and nobody right now can be compared to the likes of Wayne Rooney, even in the English team at the moment.
All right, perfect. Maybe we're not saying something that TT is saying. Maybe Gordon is a generational talent, like as well.
I think the change of ownership at Chelsea, I think, has really had an adverse effect, especially those guys behind the scene, who left. I think has left a lot of void in the Chelsea back room, because they seems to not be getting their hearts together, especially with all these transfers. For me, like you guys have just rightly said it, Gordon is even. I think last season was even his breakthrough season with Everton, and the only reason why he even had so much playing time last season was because of injury to Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So I think it should be present. It is in, let me say, a developmental stage. It's different from Wayne Rooney, and even the Wayne Rooney we're talking about played two full seasons at Everton and went to the Euros before moving to United. Played 2 full seasons at Everton, went to the Euros before moving to United, and he went to a more stable club. And that the eras are quite different. So you can't just compare the two. I just hope sanity prevail. He stays over at Everton probably for 1 or 2 years for the sake of his own career, because we've seen a lot of careers ending just like, because the pressure. The problem with the big team is nobody will give you chance to develop in the big team.
Olare, do you remember a Francis Jeffers from Everton as well?
Of course, I
Uh,
remember very well. To Arsenal.
Yeah, that's just my comparison with whatever it is that is happening with Gordon right now.
I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
If you look at
Anyways,
something, okay, let me look at you before you go. Look at a person like Ashley Young. Ashley Young is
yeah,
it's not like let me say the best of talent, but if you look at the movement in his career, really helped from Watford. He
yeah,
didn't jump to a big team. He went to Aston Villa.
Aston
He
Villa.
had
Yeah,
years at Aston Villa before coming to United.
United.
You can't look at Ashley Young and say probably he failed at United. As far as his talent is
No.
concerned, it was a success. So I
Yeah,
think some
100%.
players, people need to be very pragmatic and probably be self-aware. Self-awareness, I think, is the best thing you can do for yourself as a player. You know when to take some moves, you learn to make some moves, or you know when to take some steps. So that because just one misstep, like look, the difference between Cristiano Ronaldo and Ricardo
And Quaresma.
Quaresma was because Ronaldo came to United, Quaresma went to a Barcelona that was not ready for anybody that is not ready to play.
Ready to play. Yeah. A Barcelona that was actually in a rebuilding phase, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
So it was difficult for Ricardo achieving anything at Barca, and of course Zubaha was not even willing, and he was not interested in Quaresma. Quaresma had too much problems going to Barca, and of course, just before we go on to talk about the Premier League and the rest, we have to talk about another one, and this is Wesley Fofana. Fofana is 21, is under 21 international for the French national team. He has not even broken into the real team, their full team yet, as of yet. We understand, everybody that has seen him understand this is a talent. And I'm always very skeptical when it comes to talent, because I know talent alone cannot do it. And that's why when people keep going about William Saliba is the next best thing after sliced bread, and Guy Levy came out to say is the new Rio Ferdinand. Like, give this kid a break, give him a break. Honestly, Olale, and I would Olale and Sheyi, I'm going to take you guys back to two players of different outcomes in their career. Kozuma and Rafael Varane. They came out at the same time. They are about the same age. Varane went to Real Madrid. Kozuma went to Chelsea. And honestly, I can't see the difference between both. Apart from one achieved more and one did not achieve more. That's the only difference I can see between both of those guys. But one failed to achieve the potentials that he exhibited as a 20-year-old. Fofana going for 75 million. My question, Sheyi, number one, does Chelsea really need this guy? For me, Chalobah and Fofana, I can't see a difference. I can't see any difference. I won't spend 75 million, and I think I put this on our Twitter handle as well. I don't see why I will spend 75 million when my team is crying out for a creative midfielder and a potent striker, and I'll pay 75 million pounds for a 21-year-old boy that is not better, in my own opinion. My own good opinion. I stand to be corrected, guys. My own good opinion that is not better than Chalobah for this guy, and I will send Chalobah on loan to probably AC Milan or another team that will turn him to another Fikayo Tomori. For me, it does not make sense. But I stand to be corrected. 75 million, it's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. And they are hands on to it as well. It's not going to stop at 75 million. Sheyi, I'm going to start with you first.
Yeah, I think Chelsea's issue is not actually with the players they have. I think it's actually with the players that left. They lost two central defenders in Rudiger and Christensen. They've been able to replace one. So I think that is what they are looking at in the first place. The issue we are talking about now is about the price tag right now. Not really that they want to replace the players. 75 million for... for Fofana.
Just to add, they
Yeah.
said Chaloba is going to move out on loan just to accommodate. That is the report that we have.
I don't think that's actually what it is, because we had Chaloba last year when there was Christensen, Rudiger, and the likes. The point is they need enough cover, right? They lost two good defenders over the transfer period, and they need to cover up for them. Me personally, I think going for Fofana is at that amount is not really the bright decision to make. They can look out. I think probably because this transfer is coming from Leicester. That is the issue. The same thing they did to Manchester United some years back, that they had
with
to
Maguire.
yes, with Maguire.
The same
So I think
Manchester
that
United did to themselves.
exactly. So I think that's what is going on. Fofana himself, I don't think that price tag is really worth that price tag. But for Chelsea going out to sign a defender, I'm not totally against it. The price tag is my issue because they have bigger issues they're supposed to be looking out to solve. Like you rightly mentioned, a striker that is going to give them at least 15 to 20 goals per season. A creative midfielder, because they seem to have, I think, CDMs in abundance right now. They are looking at Frankie De Jong. Probably that would be a nice deal for them if they are able to pull it through. And that is the kind of talent they should be looking at paying £75 million for, not a Fofana. That's what it is, in my own opinion.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Olale. You have a dissenting opinion to that?
Well, I think for me, if you want to look at this issue, you just have to look at it holistically. A lot of things just for me doesn't just make sense around this whole thing. Christensen left Chelsea to become. I think Christensen will play less in Barcelona than the playing time he got at Chelsea. It's just pure madness, because Jules Koundé and whoever is partnering now, is it Araja or
Araja is playing,
right back. I just don't know, but it doesn't look like he's the first choice in the Barcelona he moved to. I don't know why he couldn't be convinced to stay. It still doesn't make sense. Now, is Wesley Fofana a good player? With what we've seen of him in 2 years at Leicester, of course, he's a good player, but that is still Leicester. We still don't know how it's going to fit in. Now, he said Chelsea lost 2 guys. I agree. They've gotten back Koulibaly. I don't think they are that under pressure, considering the fact that Azpilicueta is still around.
Yeah, he's still around. Exactly.
Azpilicueta is still around. Are they really under? Because sometimes I think a couple of things determines the transfer fee. How good the player is, the number of years he has left on his current contract.
Yeah.
How desperate is that team looking for? Like when United signed Rio Ferdinand for £30 million, United was in their need of a central defender. It was a different thing entirely. This one, I don't think Chelsea are that pressed. Even though I understand the fact that they play 3 at the back. And for Chalobah, for the games he played last season, I think he played well. It might not have. I'm not sure. I would say it was exceptional throughout, but I don't see anything that will now make him, from what we've seen from him last season. I don't think, for you losing 2 other players, I don't think sending him on loan is the next thing. I'm expecting him to get more playing time. That is what I'll be expecting from him.
Exactly.
Not for him now to go out of loan. I just think whoever is taking those decisions, I don't really understand.
They're making the same mistake they made with Fikayo.
That's what I think. Wesley Fofana should have probably, for me, even in this crazy market, should probably he's not an English guy. If he's an English guy, it's another thing entirely. He should probably be going for something around 40, 45 million pounds.
Exactly.
40, 45 million pounds.
Worst case scenario.
Anything beyond that is madness.
It's man, honestly.
From everybody
honestly.
involved. From Leicester, I think
Honestly.
Leicester has a way of owing a lot of people. They've owned, of course, everybody owes money when it comes to transfer market like this. As far as you know how to do your you know how to do your dealings very well. You will get anything out of Man U. They don't want to pay, they end up paying everything. But I think Leicester are becoming they are becoming the new Tottenham Hotspur. You don't want to go there to sign player again.
Exactly. Anyways, Olawale, I want to stay with you. 100 million euros being agreed for Antonio from Ajax. And I'm wondering what exactly is happening with United. They had all the time in the world to do a better negotiation. Today is the 28th of August, just 3 days away from the transfer deadline, and they are being forced to fork out that kind of money, 100 million euros.
I think a lot of bridges have been I think a lot of relationship have been strained by this transfer, which I think it was very, very avoidable. You have said it. Anthony was one of the two major, as in the two of, let me say, I don't know Eric Ten Hag request, but from what we've seen of him and what we've heard from the media,
that requested for,
I think the top two transfer requests by Eric Ten Hag is Frankie de Jong and Anthony. And this wish was made known to United as far back as May. To be fair to Ajax sold a lot of players in the early part of June. Mazara to Bayern Munich, Sebastian Haller to Dortmund. They let a lot of players leave. United waited to when Ajax feel like they've sold enough before they started negotiating. Now, if eventually you will come back to this, I think United will have probably paid 60 million pounds
100%.
probably a month ago, and let the deal. Now the season have already started. To be fair to Ajax, where did you expect them to be looking for?
And just to watch what you are saying, Olawale, Chelsea is now requesting for 44 million euros from Ajax.
Yes, because they know they are already rich. You can see the multiplier effect. I'm not sure Ajax will want to do that. They rather want to keep their money.
Exactly. They probably would not buy CH again.
So for me, I think this is an indictment on the people handling the United transfer. When you allow transfers to drag towards the end of the window, especially when the season, because these teams have seen United playing their first two games. United were crap in the first two games, and everybody just realized they are desperate. Look at the guy from PSV that initially we were hearing Cody Gakpo of like 30 million. Just of a sudden, PSV is demanding 50 million pounds.
Exactly.
So exactly. I think it's more of an indictment on the people at United. They hold on to the money for so long, not doing what they should have done. Now end up paying over. There's a pattern to this. Marouane Fellaini, there was a buyout clause on Marouane Fellaini's contract.
Yeah, that's true.
If you can, I think 22 million pounds or something
25
before the
million.
end of a particular month. United did not pay then. They had to pay 28 or was it 29 when they were so desperate to get somebody. They couldn't get anybody. They
could not get Fabregas.
No Fabregas. They couldn't get Anders Herrera.
No Fabregas.
Everybody was just confused.
No Cruz. Nothing. Honestly, if we look at it holistically as well, I'm pretty sure United is one of the reasons. The people behind United are one of the reasons why David Moyes even failed. Honestly, but don't let's double into that. Exactly. Don't let's double into that. Sheyi, I'm gonna come to you now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I just think in conclusion, this is more an indictment on United than just, let me say, Ajax. I think Ajax just feel like if we are losing this guy, and he came out and he did an interview with Fabrizio Romano about him already telling Ajax about his desire to leave the club as far back as February. It doesn't look good on anybody. It doesn't look good on part of United. Doesn't look good on part of Ajax, and it doesn't look good on part of the player. So I think for Ajax, the only compensation is we will make sure you pay through your nose, even though you are going to get this guy, which eventually they've already done.
All right, perfect. But a good deal for United, a good player coming to United. We hope he's going to keep his head down.
But again, Debo, see, this is the problem. Debo, this is the problem. What is the expectation of a €100 million player?
He's not going to score goals.
No. What I'm saying is this: you don't want to see Debo. When Ronaldo joined United for £12 million in 2013, even though £12 million was a big money, but it was still a small money even in 2013. I think we can agree on that.
No,
the expectation.
I'm not going to agree with you on that, but go ahead.
Expectation was not on Ronaldo to become, even though the talent was obvious. Expectation was not on him to come and become a David Beckham or be the Messiah. But in this present day market, €100 million. What do you expect Anthony to be a Sancho? At least the Sancho we are seeing now. No.
I feel Ten Hag will be able to manage it well.
My fear is the boy is being set up to fail. That's just my fear.
Yeah, but let's look at it from this perspective, and this is a way. This is how we check the managerial skills of Ten Hag himself. And this is what I keep telling. I tell anybody that cares to listen. Is the Klopp approach towards his players. The Klopp approach towards his players is always, it would not show you into the firing squad like go. He integrate those players gradually. I can remember, I think Naby Keita went to Liverpool for 55 million, which is ridiculous for the talent of Naby Keita. But the way it was gradual, honestly, that's true.
But it was highly rated in Germany, Sha.
It was highly rated in Germany, but it's ridiculous for that kind of amount. But the way Klopp handled him, it was not on the firing line day in, day out. And even we saw that guy every day, and it was not looking well. People will keep remembering that. But they bought this guy for 55 million or 60 million. And the same thing with Fabio as well. I think Fabio went for £40 million. His first season was not good. But gradually, Klopp did what he knows how to do best. Integrate the guy gradually into the team. Now, he's probably one of the best defensive midfielder in the whole of Europe. I hope Ten Hag will be able to do the same with Antonio. Antonio is not going to give you 20 goals. If a United fan and you are listening to us, he's not going to give you 20 goals. He's not going to give you 20 assists. He's not at the level of Neymar. If that's what you're looking. He's a Vinicius. He's a Vinicius of 2 seasons ago.
Debo. I think there is quite a lot of talent talking about Anthony. And also, if you look at his age, Anthony is 22 years. I think he's not there yet. In fact, he has not started. So, I think there is quite a lot of promise, a lot of fantastic things that Anthony can do over the years. But my question will be that what will actually be the sell-on value of Anthony? Anthony, for me, Anthony has shown that when he's done with Manchester United and Real Madrid comes calling,
he's going to treat United the way he has treated Ajax.
He will probably do the same thing. Go on strike. So that is actually the issue for me with this particular deal. Fantastic that we are trying to get a winger with left-footed that can play on the right wing because it gives you something different. I watched Barcelona over the weekend, and I saw that what they did throughout the match was to operate from the right wing using Rafinha and Dembele, switching them, and they got like 2 or 3 goals from that end. So you can see what a left-footed right winger can bring into that Manchester United team, especially with having Elanga, Rashford, and what's his name, Sancho. He would
Sancho.
definitely bring something different, fantastic. But my issue is the way they went about the deal for the guy to go on strike. So it definitely shows that the day that Anthony has hit the right form, for goodness sake, Real
I
We
hope
Madrid,
demand for
Barcelona, Real
250
Madrid,
million
Barcelona will
pounds.
just tell him,
We
will just
demand
tell
for
him to go on
250
strike.
million
they,
pounds.
they should just put a release clause in his contract of,
I'm
let's say,
telling you,
300
400 million.
million,
probably.
300
400
million.
million. But I hope, sincerely, I hope that he is the ground on. He's a fantastic footballer with huge potentials, and he's coming to a coach that understands him, understands his temperament, his weaknesses, his strength. So he's coming to a good environment. And for what I saw of what Ten Hag has done over the past 2 games, I think United might might not be a relegation team again.
No,
And
United can be a real. I'm
no,
just
if they
Debo,
kept up with what they did, Sheyi,
no,
hold
Debo,
on, hold
Debo.
on, Sheyi,
I
Sheyi,
want to
hold on.
remind you of something. I want to
If they
remind you of
kept up,
something.
hold on, Sheyi, hold on, please. Don't let me
Okay.
forget what I want to say. If they had kept up with the attitude from the first 2 games, that's bad attitude. It would have been
I
a
think
problem. I'm listening.
I think also there was quite a little bit of mismatch. I recall Olawale is on this call. Thank God, he attacked me about my criticism about ETH, and I have my reasons. The reason why I was able to attack ETH is because I watched all the preseason matches, and I think the preseason matches are not just for you to run those players, it's also to look
Yeah.
at partnership.
The
Those
best,
guys
yeah.
that really understand themselves, those guys that can really tick when the season started, And there was no time that he used Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire. We know Harry Maguire is even a failure. We understand that. But guess what? All the preseason matches that Lisandro Martinez played was with Rafael Varane. All. So what I'm trying to say is that during the preseason, he started something. He should just have continued. I know that it was really a big thing for him to drop his captain, but he has done that, and
He's working right now.
He's working. So that
Anyways,
was what I was just trying to.
Anyways, we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Palale, just before we go into the Champions League, Neto has been identified by Arsenal as the next potential. Arsenal, on their own part, are potentially in foul of the FFP, which is the financial play rule. So they might be sanctioned potentially if they're not careful. But Neto is going to come at a huge cost, £50 million. Olale,
For a player
I've
playing in the
seen-
Premier
I've-
League.
yeah, I've seen Saka. I know you love Saka, and there was a day we had like a banter or an argument about it, and he told me Saka is a good player, and I told you he's just an average player. Would this be an upgrade to Saka, or just another guy that would come into the team and be like Saka?
Neto.
Yeah,
I think Neto ceiling is, let me say, higher than probably any other winger Arsenal have presently.
currently.
I'm talking about ceiling, which means what I think he can, where I think he can get to is higher. I think Neto is raw. Neto is probably one of those few players now, especially in this era of inverted wingers, who is comfortable to play on both sides of the flanks. Play him on the right is there. Play him on the left is there.
Left is there. Exactly.
If you look at Rafinha is only comfortable on the right side, cutting in.
Yeah.
If you play Rafinha on the left, he's probably not himself. He's probably not himself. So I think Neto.
So this potentially a good buy for Arsenal, right?
Exactly. And I think one of the reasons why we've not really seen much of Neto is because Wolverhampton Wanderers have not always been that team that creates that many chances. The way they play, you can see their games, they hardly score more than 2 goals in any of their games. Of course, we've seen some middle teams that their games they hit 3-4 at times, but you hardly see this from the same. I think if Arsenal can bring in Neto, it's an upgrade on either Martinelli or Saka. Either of the two is an upgrade on
Yeah.
either of the two.
All right, perfect. So I sincerely hope Arsenal will bring in Neto, and be an improvement, because I can imagine you having on bench Neto, Eddie Nketiah. That's the best. That's the best player apart from Odegaard in Arsenal. Anyways, so we'll go straight to the Champions League right now, and I'm looking at the fixtures in the Champions League, tantalizing fixtures, like
Every,
tantalizing
every,
groups.
everybody's going
Every
back
group,
home.
and the funniest thing about it is I'm looking at some names that came back to the Champions League this season. Names like Rangers, Celtic, Maccabi Haifa, Dynamo Zagreb. These are teams that of yesteryears they come to the Champions League stage.
Yes, of course.
But we've not seen them in a while, and it's looking pretty awesome. So I'm going to start with Sheyi on this one. Group A. Someone said Group A is the hardest group, not Group C. And the reason why the person said Group A is the hardest is because anybody can beat anybody in Group A. Ajax, Liverpool, Napoli, and Rangers. Rangers looks to be the weakest out of the whole team. But when you go to Scotland and play against
Ibrox.
Exactly. You go to Ibrox, you understand the atmosphere. I remember a season that Barcelona went to Celtic Park. I think the name of the park is Eden Park or something.
Parkhead, or is it Parkhead or something?
Yeah, like that. It has one name like that. And Barca lost, I think 2-0, thanks to double Nakamura free kick. I don't know if you guys remember that year. So it looks like Rangers will be the whipping team, but be careful when you have Napoli or Osimhen. You have this Liverpool does not look convincing to me, and they did not do themselves a word of good winning 9-0 this weekend. Anyways, everybody will think they don't have problem again. And of course, Ajax. Ajax is just Ajax. They'll blow hot today, blow cold tomorrow. Sheyi, I want to start with you. What do you think is going to qualify this group?
Like you mentioned, I think it's quite an interesting group. But I think Liverpool is going to come out tops ahead of the others. The only issue they may have along the way is going actually to Rangers to go and win. English teams, exactly. English teams will always have issue trying to win in Scotland. But I think it's going to be in a Liverpool-Napoli ticket in this group. Ajax for me, they are quite weak at the moment because of the number of players they've sold.
They've lost.
Also, they have a new coach, which means a little bit of change in philosophy can happen, and that might take time for the players to really, gel and get that into their system.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think Rangers will be the whipping boys anyway. For me, it's going to be Liverpool to top the group, then probably Napoli
second.
What about you? I don't even know why you did a lot of serious thinking about this. I was very surprised when everyone was not saying, some people, some analysts. Hope it is not all those. Is it? Is it Agbolia analysts? Don't let me use the. I don't want to use the word I normally use. Please, there's nothing tricky about this group. Liverpool is going to win this group.
Yeah.
Napoli will come second. Sheyi has already said it. Ajax are going through like a rebuilding phase. Of course, it's somebody not really willing to do well, but I think Napoli will probably come distant second.
Okay, you'll be shocked, Olawale. You'll be shocked. I'm pretty sure you'll be shocked. When I listen to this and I tell you, Olawale, I was listening to episode 9 of season 2. Like, why are you listening to it again? I'll remind you, Olawale. Sheyi, I want to go back to you now. Porto, Atletico Madrid, Leverkusen. They have a striker I know about Leverkusen anyways, Musa Diaby, and of course Club Brugge. I understand what Club Brugge did in the Champions League over the past 2 seasons. So they were lucky to go out against Atlanta or so, against Man City as well. They showed their stuff. And I'm pretty sure they know their stuff as well. Atletico Madrid, you can't be so sure about them. Porto, I don't know. Estadio Dragao, when you go there, you see evil there. Of course, Leverkusen have a very young, tantalizing team. Who do you think will be coming out?
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure you're going to say Atletico anyway. So
I also think Atletico, they've not started the season quite well. Also, I think they're
of
still
course,
struggling in the league at the
do they
moment.
ever
One
start anything
win,
well?
one win out of two, and uh, I think I'll stick my neck for Porto and Atletico in this group.
Of course,
Lev-
I know you
Leverkusen.
will. I know you will. You can't disappoint me, Sheyi. You can't disappoint me. When it
I
comes to
don't. s-
Atletico Madrid,
I
I
don't
don't
see
see any
Atletico.
disappointment
I
coming
don't see
from you.
Atletico not qualifying from this group. They might probably come
Yeah.
out as the second, but I think they will be out of it.
So you are saying Atletico Madrid and Leverkusen, right?
And Porto.
And Porto. Wow, nice. Alali, what about you?
I
Porto,
think this
Atletico,
is more of
Leverkusen,
a
Club Brugge.
this is even more trickier than
Than
the
the
group
first
A
one.
Group A.
because I've been trying to wrap my head around who is the favorite. Of course, Atletico should be the favorite, but it seems they are not the Atletico of yesterday. But again, they still have the talent, they have the
Yeah,
experience,
100%.
they have the
100%.
coach. You can add. It is very hard for you to bet against
Argue
a team
against
like
them.
this. So
Uh-huh.
whichever way, either first or second, like Sheyi said, I think they will come out. Who follows them is going to be a big team because I don't think Porto is going up. I don't think Porto have any edge over Bayern Leverkusen as it stands. And expect Club Brugge to make some bit of noise. I think it's going to be a very messy group because even I'm sure Atletico will not make it very easy for themselves. It's a group that'll probably go to the wire.
To the wire.
But I just probably want to be a bit different. I think Leverkusen and probably Atletico.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I just feel Leverkusen will qualify for one strange reason or the other. I think they will. I'm not sure, but I feel they will with Atletico Madrid, of course. And to the extremely difficult one, Bayern, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and PSN. And you can see that smile on Oliver Kahn's face when they gave them Barcelona. Like, okay, welcome back home. Welcome
That
back.
will be that
Welcome
that,
back.
that will be very
Welcome
personal.
back.
That time will be very personal.
Because of Lewandowski at the 8-2
No,
defeat.
uh, a lot. For me, I think
Well,
this group is going to be. This is what you should call the group of death. In as much as we have a whipping boy in that team,
uh-huh.
any two of those three could easily qualify from this group. Of course, Inter
Yeah.
Milan have not been too impressed about them. There is this blowing hot and cold, a team that doesn't really play up to its potential.
Yeah.
Barcelona, yes, probably they bought a new squad this season, just like Nottingham Forest did. With all these, but kudos to them for a team that probably financially is struggling and everybody just wants to join. That's what they call prestige. So
Yeah.
I think they look probably better, more experienced than what they were last season when I think they lost out in the group stage last season.
Yeah, they did.
A more experienced striker in Lewandowski. Last season, at the beginning of the season, they don't really have a top nine. They were between Memphis Depay and the others.
Fancy that too.
I just think Barcelona and Bayern will qualify from this group.
That's so fancy.
I think Inter Milan will make it a contest, will make it difficult for them. But I can't just wait for the head-to-head tie. I don't know how the fixtures is going to go. Whether I just wish that Bayern Barcelona game comes in game week 3 and game week 4.
Yeah.
Game day 3 and game day 4. I think
Yeah,
that
that
would
would
be
be
the most
nice.
interesting. Because I don't want a
Yeah,
situation whereby
that would be
either of
nice.
the team will have qualified before they meet
Before playing
in that second leg.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just want both of
Exactly.
them to. So I
True,
think
true that.
game day 3 and game day 4 will be very, very good for this fixture.
All right, Shay, what about you? Inter has not been impressive. I saw their game against
Yes.
Lazio, and they were rightly defeated. It was in Rome, but they were rightly defeated. And you see
Yeah.
Philip Anderson doing wonders. I'm like, oh wow! So you know how to play ball. Anyways, Bayern, Barca, Inter, Tazen.
I think I'll definitely go with Lawale. I think Bayern and Barcelona will just probably be too powerful for Inter in this group. I've watched Inter this season. Unless they develop a different form and turn to a different animal when it comes to the Champions League. Without that, I think it's going to be straight Bayern Barcelona group. Another thing is I hope Bayern and Barcelona will not cancel each other. I just
They will
That's-
defeat Inter
that's-
Milan.
that's-
That's
that
not
is-
the
that-
point. All of them, both of them should ordinarily defeat Inter Milan. Both Bayern.
probably.
But the problem is I don't trust the coach of Bayern. He might come that day and decide to use. I don't trust that boy.
I think
sorry
Xavi
to
too is a bit suspicious too when it comes to. I think
I
if
don't
reality
trust
is
that
going
boy.
to go against Bayern and Barcelona, it could be probably the inexperience of their coaches.
Of
their
their
coaches.
coaches, right?
Nagelsmann,
I
I don't really trust that guy. He might come in and decide to,
But I think
think the
Barcelona-
problem with him, I think he experiments too much with that.
exactly. He experiments at the wrong time.
squad. Yes.
Exactly, because he had
Because
no
this
business
last
losing
season and
against
this
Villarreal
sometimes-
last season.
Sometimes he plays
You don't
3-5-2,
Exactly.
4-4-2.
What is wrong with this?
Sometimes
What
he
is wrong with
shifts
this?
to
wrong with this kid?
Oswakimi to the midfield. Or
Yeah.
sometimes you see
Yeah.
Upamecano play. It's a different kind of, this oversabi
Of
professor.
formation.
Exactly. I don't trust him. That's my problem with that guy. I don't trust him. That's why I don't see Bayern being
Being a force, right?
being a force like they used to be. That's I love what's that? That's that is it Job Ekens or what's his name? That
Job
coach, that
Ekens.
winning coach. Yeah, I love that man. Very pragmatic, knows what
Yeah.
he's doing, understand what the team needs. Martinez was the one that changed the whole dynamic for them the following season after he lost against Chelsea, I guess.
Yes,
He just brought the guy like, come, you are the missing link in this midfield.
Yeah,
Come here,
that
drop
makes
him,
sense.
and
And that was
and
it.
they became. You understand? You have a very good team right now, but one day you want
I
to
think
play.
I think the last
play-
coach
play
that
Sané,
went to the national team now.
Flick. Yeah,
I don't know why they allowed him to just work like that. In 2 years,
he said
he
they were not
made a
ready-
lot of
he said
difference
they-
with that team.
He said
Yeah.
they were not ready to
In
spend
2
money like he wanted.
But in 2 years, he won everything.
Yeah, he said
Exactly.
he said they were not ready
And he
to
made-
to spend like he wanted. So he needed to go.
And he actually made the Bayern team look different in terms of
Exactly.
strength and
Yeah.
resilience. His team
And
was
That
You
why
see
they won
a-
the Champions League. They were very
Goodness.
direct,
Exactly.
high pressing,
Very
direct.
High pressing
you know,
direct.
even though they
you see
have,
a player
they
like-
still have that element
You
of
see a player
possession
like
football,
Leo Goretzka.
but
I'm like,
there's
oh
this
wow.
directness in their game.
Yeah. Anyways, to a more interesting one, the sports fan says, who are they getting in the second round? Because they've won this group already.
You can't,
And then
but you can't trust Antonio Conte when it comes to
you- They're in a group of Olympic Marcel. I watched Marcel today. Marcel looks very fantastic. I wonder how many goals. I'm looking out for Alexis Sanchez in that French league. At least I can guarantee you that guy is going to score at least 21 goals in that league this season. He's a different
Farmers.
monster.
Alex Sanchez in the
that
French
league-
league now.
Yeah, it's with Marcel now. That league is nowhere near the standard of Sanchez. Sporting, we know what Sporting did last season. They were very bad as well. Did pretty good. Spurs, susceptible Spurs, but they look to be the strongest in this team. Frankfurt, the Europa League champion right now. But don't forget that they came like the distant 13th last season.
I have a
in
bad
the
news for
German
you.
league. Yeah.
I have a bad news for you.
What's the bad news?
In as much as probably I want Spurs to qualify, this
Yeah.
group probably looks very tricky for them
Yeah, it does.
because Spurs don't dominate games.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have said 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, whichever way you call it, doesn't really work much in Europe when you play in Europe. Because it lacks imagination. That formation lacks imagination. Even if you watch Spurs so far in the Premier League, they have 10 points. Probably they are going to do well, but they just can't control games. They can't just control games, and which will be a bit of problem for them, I think, in Europe.
For them in Europe. Yeah, 100%.
I think
I agree with you.
it's about this group is a banana scheme for them because Frankfurt on a very good day can place
Germany.
can hold Spurs to draw twice.
Yeah.
Dimitri Payet can just be in his one of those days and just be scoring and be assisting for Marseille, and they can spoil it for Spurs.
So, Lawale, what do you
I
think?
mean, I think this is another very tricky group, but let me just respect them being your neighbor in North London. I'll pick them, but I'm not too convinced. Let me tell you the truth. I'll pick
Who do
Spurs
you think is going
and
Frankfurt?
Frankfurt. Yeah, but
Shay, what
I
about
will
you?
not be I will not be surprised if they crashed out from the group stage.
Shay, what about they should not come to the Europa League, please. They should just go home. We don't want
I
anybody
think
in the Europa League this season.
I think for me, I'm actually going to pick Frankfurt first. I saw what they did in the Europa last season, especially their games against Barcelona. I think one of the teams that outplayed Barcelona last season should be Eintracht Frankfurt, actually. Like Olawale said, Tottenham, the way they play in recent time, I don't know if it's because of the Conte style, is to really leave you to play and even when and counter attack you, even when they are leading, even when they are dominating the game. I think towards the end of the maybe the last quarter of the games, they just go back and just
Try to absorb pressure.
change the setting to counter and try to score. It might be what will work perfectly for them in this group, and it might also be their problem.
They are doing.
But for me, I'll actually pick Frankfurt first. Then maybe I'll just think about, because they have Antonio Conte as their coach, I don't think a Conte team will be out of the Champions League group stage, especially playing against Sporting and Marseille.
They did last season. Was it 2 seasons ago in Inter Milan? Anyways, for me, it's going to be Frankfurt and Marseille. So, whatever. And I'm pretty sure you guys know why.
North London.
I'm not going to say it out loud. And Group E is going to be Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg, and Dynamo Zagreb. Salzburg always come out in their real elements. Always churning out good players. They have one currently. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I will not try. Milan looking fantastic as well, and they probably gained the experience from last season. So they should not be a whooping team. And this group looks better than what they had last season when they were with Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, and I've forgotten who else was with them last season. And of course, Chelsea. I expect Chelsea, even with their not so fantastic form, I still expect Chelsea to come out tops here. Olali.
Chelsea, AC Milan. I think there is no Salzburg. All due respect to them, they will make their usual noise. Like you said, I think a year more experience for the AC Milan team. A bit of a friendly group appearing this time around. I think that last one was just pretty difficult. AC Milan, Porto, Atletico Madrid, and Liverpool. I see them qualifying this time around. I think they've added 1 year experience to their what do you call it? Their profile. Yeah. And I think the opponents are not as difficult as what they had last year. I think straight up Chelsea, AC Milan.
All right, perfect. Shay, what about you?
Yeah, I think I'll agree with Olawale. Even though AC Milan lost Kese, who happens to be engine room in their midfield to Barcelona over the transfer window, I still think this group is not so hard for them not to come out. Of course, Chelsea will probably top this group. I think their strength in their defense will come to to
to
bear
play.
again,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
just
It
like
will.
previous seasons.
Yeah. It will.
I think that's what they've used over the last 2-3 seasons thereabouts to be the same thing. They'll probably win this Milan to follow.
All right, perfect. And of course, it's going to be Real Madrid, RB Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Celtic.
Real Madrid, RB Leipzig.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Shay, what about you?
I think it's a straight one. Like Olawale said, Real Madrid will probably have 100% out of this group.
Don't be
Uh,
so sure. Real Madrid were defeated by Sheriff. Sheriff FC last season at
but
Benabout.
they won. They
I'm
won
just
the
I'm just
Champions League
I'm just reminding
eventually.
I'm just reminding you.
I know, but but I think
What you
it's
said
going to be
100%.
Real and Leipzig.
Yeah, hopefully. How come Angelino is not leaving RB Leipzig anyways? That's I'm at loss about that guy. That kid should be leaving. He should be playing in England.
No, it was former Man City player, I
Man
think.
City, yeah, Man City
Yeah,
player, yeah.
yeah.
It's actually very good, especially in a
Yeah.
3-5 in a three at the back system. Is very
Yes.
is very
Exactly.
good at win back.
Yeah.
It's very good
I'm
talent.
wondering why what he's still doing there. City, Sevilla, Dortmund, and Copenhagen.
Haha.
I don't
This
don't
not
forget
fair.
don't forget that Ronaldo might end up at Dortmund, so keep that in mind.
Dortmund. So that's the next
Dortmund-
club they are linking Ronaldo to now.
They
Not-
link
not-
Ronaldo to everybody.
Who's going to
Marseille,
pay the salary
Sporting.
in Dortmund?
Dortmund is the latest
Dortmund.
club to be to.
The only thing is that unless Man United will be paying his salary and Ronaldo will go and play for somebody, I don't see any of those teams. But
And
again,
don't
for this,
forget
I
that
think-
he could end up at Ajax as well. He could end up at Ajax as well. Yeah.
oh God, in the name of playing in the Champions League,
He might end up at
Okay.
Ajax as well.
I think this is
Although-
very a bit straight up. I think
It's gonna be
I'll go
City.
for I'll go with City.
Uh-huh.
Of late, I don't trust Dortmund. Of late,
Yeah.
in the past 2 years or 3 years, they've been very disappointing.
Mhm.
If there's another team that has probably not played up to their potential in previous year, I think it is Dortmund. And I think this year, probably they might have some unknown. They don't really have as many as those number of upcoming, as in rising superstars that like they usually
Used to have.
used to have in their fold. I think Sevilla, with their experience, Julia, what's the name of this their coach? This former Madrid. Is it Julia Lopetegi or what's his name?
Lupega or something.
Lopitego.
The former Spanish.
Yeah,
Former
yeah.
Spanish coach and Real
I think
Madrid coach.
I think I'll go for Sevilla, Man City and Sevilla.
What about you, Shay?
For me, I think obviously Man City. Obviously, it's going to be between Sevilla and Dortmund. I think the person that can.
Sevilla might deliberately not go to Champions qualify so that they can go and win
because
Europa.
So that they
Europa
can go
League.
and win Europa. Actually, tip. I think I tip Dortmund
Ahead
to
of
follow
Sevilla.
Man City. And not that because they are quite superior, but I think in recent time they still have that Champions League what's it called? Presence, experience, and that might just work in their favor.
All right, perfect. And of course, the last group is going to be Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus, Benfica, and Maccabi Haifa. Maccabi Haifa would definitely be at the bottom, rock bottom. Benfica will be third.
I think the issue is PSG will qualify.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know how strong that Benfica team is, but if there is a group that there could be a potential upset, I think it is this group, because Juventus was very vulnerable. I watched. There was one of their game I saw, and if you look at the shape of the team at a particular point in time, it was more of 5 at the back. As in, the distance between each of the Juventus players was just too much. and I think they look vulnerable. I'm not sure. What do you call it? Their coach really probably
Allegri.
Allegri.
Allegri
It, do,
understand
it doesn't have the players. That's not the truth.
exactly. I think that's another thing
That's,
again.
yes.
I think the talent is not really there again in that
It's
team.
not there.
I think Benfica. I'll pick Benfica to go with PSG in this group.
With PSG. That's a big one. Shay, what about
Wow.
you?
I think I'll stick with
PSG and
Juventus.
Juve.
Unlucky for them, they lost Pogba to the crazy injury.
Injury.
But they join them on
They
free
have Di
transfer now.
Maria.
It's not like they pay 80
And the
million on him.
and the Maria as
Ola-
well.
Olawale, I think they were
They-
quite wise in they were one of the wisest in this transfer market.
No, that's
Getting Pogba
Barcelona.
for free, getting
Barcelona
no
got
no
Aubameyang
Barcelona.
for free
I
and
think
sold it
that
for. They are selling it for like 20 million pounds now.
I think
What a
Barcelona
deal.
is such a crook in this in this in this transfer window.
They are just cooking
Uh,
everybody.
Having no money, signing players, and even selling.
No, they've
And
they've
no
used
money.
four economical levers. Four.
I hope they
There are
still have
four.
more levers. Because when the financial issues come to them, I don't know how they are going to survive.
They are going to bribe. They are going to bribe people. Don't worry about that. What Barca is doing right now is when we get to that bridge, we'll cross.
We'll cross it.
That's why I keep telling
Goodness.
people, Barca right now they are looking to win something. They are not rebuilding that thing. They are not in a busy phase. They want to win something. Once they win something, they will attract more sponsorship.
More
They will
sponsorship.
attract more money and try
They
to
want to
balance on
stay
their
at the
books.
zenith as
Exactly.
with
I'm
all
sure-
costs because
I'm
they
I'm
know
sure one
that
of
is
the
what
reason why
matters.
one of the reason why they played that friendly with City was for those City administrators to tell them how they can, what do you call it? By the time this financial fair play
guys
it's
come.
them.
beginning
Yeah,
comes to light, how they can actually maneuver their way. Because I think City
Yeah.
is another team that is very good at maneuvering all these.
Yeah, all these
Excuse me,
financial
they-
issues.
they-
City signed Ireland for how much now? Again, let me go back. City signed Ireland for how much?
60 something, I think.
No,
No,
53.
they said 40 something.
No, 53. It was 53. It was 53.
But nobody is talking about how much they will pay the agents. Fine, it's fine.
Well, of course.
It's fine.
Mhm.
See, Olale, if you want to learn how to be a real crook in the world, coming from a sporting view, go and learn from the guys at Watford and Udinese. Those guys, they are the real crooks. But I'll leave it at that. I'll not say anything else. Going to the Italian league right now. Lazio, like they will say it in Yoruba, Guewuro sí ojú Inter Milan. 3-1 headed on the night. Inter Milan looked entertaining at a point, and at a point they look so vulnerable at the back. And I'm like, okay, whatever is going on with these guys, I don't want to be part of it right now. Juventus played a 1-1 draw against Roma. Roma is still missing out Wijnaldum right now due to injury, and of course their talisman Zanilo is out injured as well. Mourinho was quite furious about this game, that why did they play like endless chickens in the first half. Milan, thanks to Giroud and Leao's goal, Giroud scoring an overhead kick, defeated Bologna 2-0. Fiorentina played a 0-0 draw against Napoli on the night as well. In the Spanish La Liga, Barcelona defeated Valladolid 4-0. Almeria defeated Sevilla 2-1. Betis defeated Osasuna 1-0, while Getafe and Villarreal played a 0-0 draw. And Real Madrid, thanks to Benzema, brace 1-3-1 on the night. Going to the English Premier League right now, we will not talk so much about the English Premier League apart from a couple of games. I said it on this show. I don't understand what they are doing at Leicester City. That word, their goalkeeper right now, is not deserving to be called a goalkeeper. That team itself, using Jimmy Vardy as their top striker, is not even deserving to be called a team. 1 man down. Chelsea 1 man down. I understand Chelsea has the spirit, but even if you are going to lose against a good Chelsea team, you should not be so hapless on the night. And I'm wondering what exactly is happening. What exactly does the owners of Leicester City expect Brendan Rodgers to do? And don't forget that in a couple of days they might be losing talisman to maybe Arsenal, United, or even Spurs. That's
Or
going to get
Madison, or
crazier for them.
Madison to Newcastle.
Or Madison to Newcastle. And I'm wondering, what exactly are they doing at Leicester City? Olale.
Yeah, I think they probably overachieved since Brendan Rodgers joined. They've made some very smart signings over the period. They missed out on the Champions League by whiskers in I think 2 consecutive seasons. But I think we noticed the drop last season, and probably it's from one hand it looks like either the guys are not really responding to Brendan Rodgers again. On the other hand, it's more of like it's team that was not stable, injury and there. I agree with you. Probably Jimmy Vardy shouldn't be starting again for them. He has given a lot to that club. He has given a lot to the Premier League, considering the age that he even started. He started very late.
Yeah.
I still think they have enough talent to probably perform more than what they are doing. Which, I still think, I don't think they should be where they are presently. I don't think they should probably lose a 2-goal lead against Brighton. I don't think they should surrender a 1-goal lead. I think the goalkeeper thing is an issue, which I think they should have addressed, and they didn't address it. It's going to cost them a lot.
I don't understand how you sell a Kasper Schmeichel, one of the best goalkeeper in Premier League, to get a award for free.
Now, I don't even understand why Kasper Schmeichel left. Was he the one that desperately wanted to move, or if it was the club that probably just wanted to sell him, that means they might be having some financial issues, which probably is not known to us, because for a team that I think they are the only team that have not spent £1 in the transfer market. Not spend £1 in the transfer market.
But they want to sell for Fala. They've already sold for Fala for 75 million.
75 million pounds. If you are selling and you are not doing any business, I have my fears because
Olawale, any club that uses Amati, that Ghanaian, as your center defender, you are not ready to play in the Premier League.
And considering the fact that Fulham and Nottingham Forest looks like a team that
wants to stay.
They want to stay. I think they are showing that desire to stay, and that will spell doom for Leicester. I think the only thing might be, if they keep Madison, they might still have enough attacking talent, probably, to take them through. But I don't see them finishing in the top half of the league this year.
All right, perfect. Sheyi, I want to come to you. Did Liverpool do themselves more disservice by winning 9-0? Because now everybody think everything is fine. They win 9-0. They have a lot of problems. Nobody is talking about it. Even when those guys, how many Liverpool players are on injury right now? Thiago Alcantara that does not have an hamstring, right? Yeah. Chembari that cannot play 20 consecutive games, right? Who else has injury?
I think their defense.
Naby Keita that has 1 year left on his contract. I'm talking about the middle of the pack. I'm talking about the midfield. They have Milner that is on his last leg. Ederson that we all know that he just has spirit. He's not the most talented human being on this earth. People are not talking about it. We are not focusing on it. We feel Klopp will perform miracle. Okay.
You know what?
Over to you, Sheyi. Yeah.
you know what, Debo? I think Liverpool they've probably rolled their luck over the years, and they've played they've played in a particular system that, I think we mentioned this last season thereabouts, talking about the creators, the playmakers for Liverpool, and not the midfielders. They're actually the wing backs.
Exactly.
Yes, and they have the likes of Salah that also puts away the chances. Salah and Mane, and that has always been the way Liverpool used to play. That's the way they play. They just need these guys in the middle of the park to mop up. Because when you have the wing backs eye up there. They need the likes of Fabio, Navigator, and the likes, Anderson, to just mop up and at times to keep the possession and to keep the pressure. That is what Liverpool plays. They put pressure on their opponents.
Mental pressing.
Mental pressing, just to just press the spaces, to cover the space for the against your opponent, and that is what the midfielders do. But right now, I think maybe losing a little bit of the one or two of the players. Mane not there now, and what's the name of this Cameroonian defender? Is another Matip, thank you. Is another defender that actually, the way he plays, it helps the midfield because the way it brings ball out of the defense. And he's not there. They are playing Gomez at the moment. And
Konate.
Konate is also injured. So I think that is what they are facing at the moment. They are going to get back on their feet and definitely showcase, play much better than what we've seen in the last 2 or 3 matches. But guess what?
Mm-hmm.
During the off-season, also the summer, they were talking about Jude Bellingham. I still don't understand why they did not go ahead and get Jude, because that is actually another solution. Another solution.
Dortmund will tell them to go and bring 200 million pounds.
Dortmund. Okay.
But this is the same Liverpool that paid. But this is the same Liverpool that paid 80 million for
No, it was 65. It was 65.7 billion.
For Nunes, for the striker.
Yeah, they've arranged the fee. Yeah, it's 65 million now. It's no longer 85 million. It's no longer
85. Okay, no problem. But for me, I think next summer they're actually going to buy a defender, probably Jude Bellingham. And I also learned that they entered into the Frankie De Jong transfer saga also. So that's
complicated.
Biggest mystery, right?
Yes, because Frankie as of today has entered negotiations with Barcelona. Is ready to defy his wages and to forgo some of it. So it's a trickery one. So I wouldn't expect him. But for me, I don't know if you guys agree with me. I think the owners of Liverpool are not pulling enough weight, and that team, with the code they have right now, they are not doing enough to support him. They could get better players, make their objective more accessible for them than what they have right now. I'm looking at that midfield. They don't have anything in that midfield apart from for Fabio and maybe Curtis Jones. For me,
I think I quite agree with you. I think they have the potential to probably compete with City.
Yeah, exactly.
In this era, but I think they, like Debo said, they've not rightly. I think they've been very lucky with their transfers. I think we need to say that they've been very lucky with their transfers.
Yeah.
Majority of their transfers have actually worked. Even City have not probably gotten all their transfers right, but because they have the funds there, if this one doesn't work 1 year, they can dump him and go and bring another one.
Exactly.
But Liverpool have been very lucky with their transfer. And I think the major issue with Liverpool is this: beyond the midfield, which is probably a pressing problem now, they are lacking bodies there. I think there will be a bit of transition in the way they have to play. Now, if Darwin Núñez comes back, I don't see him sitting on the bench for so many games.
True that.
Darwin Núñez coming as a centre forward changes the dynamics of everything.
Of everything, yeah.
Especially Salah. That's why I'm looking at Salah productivity this year. Is he going to be that productive as he was? Because Firmino as a first 9 plays more like a number 10.
Yeah.
He plays more like a number 10, create that space. It leaves that. When Firmino plays as a 9, most time you won't see him in that position.
You won't see him there. He
moves around and gives Salah or Mane chances to come into that space to come and score goals. Darwin Núñez, I'm not sure with that mobile, he'll probably occupy that center position. Why not being a creator, but trying to feed on?
on
on the support. I think those
on
are, I think
chances.
those are going to be the bigger challenge. City as a team are going through a bit of transition too, trying to fit in Haaland into the way they play. You could see the struggles there. It's just
Uh
that
huh.
when you are talented, you are talented. That has just
Yeah.
been. Haaland has had, I think in 4 games, I think 39 touches in 4 games, and he has produced 6 goals. That's
Six
four. I
goals.
think 6 goals. That's
Yeah.
massive. But
Yeah.
it's not
Score an hat
ideal.
trick
39 touches in 4 games is probably average of 9 touches per game.
per game.
So per
Wow.
game. So they are going through transition too. But for me, I think for Liverpool, that will be the bigger problem. How do they transit? Because no anybody that are expecting that they ask could give you that take home, that strength, that dribbling. But I don't think it's going to give you that
He
number
can
of
guarantee
goals
you the goals that you expect from a
that
Salah or a
from
Mane.
Sadio Mane. So I think those
Yeah.
are going to be. I think the young guy, the Fabio Carvalho guy, looks like a real deal.
Yeah.
But probably like what you said, probably this guy is just trying to.
And when
Uh,
I come to think of it, Olawale, Avi Elliott is an outside left, like a left forward, but now they are playing him in the
in the
middle of the
midfield.
park.
Yeah.
You know, these are issues that people are glossing over. I expect as Olale, people keep. I would put it. I would similarize this situation with Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. Arsene could have achieved more during his time if he had the right support. He did not. It's the same way that Klopp is vying against a Guardiola that has fund, and you're not backing him enough to maximize that potential. You are doing a disservice to that club. And this situation might not occur for life. It might change when both of them leaves, and Liverpool will go through
No,
another
no,
rebuilding
Debo, I
phase
think
that will last them
Debo,
another 10 years.
I think the issue is this. Sometimes you have to look at where Liverpool is coming from. In the face of the fans, in the face of the press, probably they felt Liverpool has overachieved.
Achieve.
Yeah, like because I don't think anybody expected them to have probably to consider the number of years they've not won the Premier
Took
League.
to rebuild them. Yeah.
For this guy to win them the Premier League, for him to win them Champions
Champions
League,
League.
and they played 3 Champions League finals in like 5 years,
Yeah,
which is
true that.
which is massive. So
Massive.
I think based on that achievement, people are not really looking at the underfunding going on in the club.
They should though. Anyways, don't
Nobody's looking
worry,
at it.
Olawale.
Like,
Don't worry. We are here to tell them. We'll keep hammering it to them till it grows in their subconsciousness and they go against their owners, FGS, that spend this money. Open the wallets. Let's spend this money. Anyways, Arsenal were lucky to win against Fulham 2-1. One deflection for Martin Odegaard, and of course, Gabriel Atoni for the mistake and the error that he made. And you look at it last season, many people made excuse for Gabriel that it was because of Nuno Tavares. Nuno actually, Olale, has scored 3 goals from left
guy.
back. Nuno
Good guy.
Tavares at Marseille right now. So they were lucky. Thanks to Mitrovic strength to close him down and score that goal. He headed 2-1. But what I wanted to, and I'm going to ask you this question. What I noticed about Leno, because a goalkeeper, you'll be able to talk. How docile is that guy? He's so docile. That second goal that Arsenal scored was not supposed to score. It was so docile. It was behind an Arsenal player. It was marking an Arsenal player. And this is the same thing that we saw when it was with Arsenal. Like, wow, this guy would never change. He was so docile coming from a corner kick when you should be controlling your area. That's the difference between someone like him and Aaron Ramsey. Even Ramsey is just 23 years old, but he knows how to control his area perfectly well. Shay, just before we go on the show.
Yeah, I think goalkeepers have their different strengths. And you can see that's why some coaches like to change goalkeepers when they get to a team. Typical example is Olawale's friend Guardiola that had to send away the England number 1, Joe Hart. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
tried with Bravo before eventually got Ederson. Same thing with Liverpool, tried with what's the name of this
Those two
German?
calamity. Those two calamity.
You
Simon
recall?
Simon Mignolet.
Mignolet,
The
That one is
Carriers.
Belgian
this other
and
German,
Arios.
Carrios,
Carriers.
thank you.
Those guys gave them a dick.
Before he finally got
Allison.
Alisson. I think I was part of the people that actually thought Arsenal was joking when they got Ramsdale, but Ramsdale turned out to be a fantastic signing for Arsenal. What I'm trying to say is that Ben Leno is fantastic when it comes to some other things. There is hardly shots from outside the box that you see Ben Leno not to carry. But I think commanding that box has become maybe an ancient issue for him, and even with his level of experience, that you expect him to have that that presence. If you don't have that presence, you should be vocal. Goalkeepers have different qualities to make sure that they protect the box six. Some are not that physical, like De Gea is not physical right now. But the way he commands his defenders to make sure.
The yet is a problem when it comes to area
to boxes. Yeah, but the goalkeeper, what they make up for that is being vocal. When you can see and you shout at your defenders to make sure they block where they're supposed to block, to pick up the defender they're supposed to pick up when it comes to corner kicks or set pieces. But Ben Leno seems not to have that. And of course, he's playing for Fulham. That is why he's in that kind of team. That's why I couldn't cut it in an Arsenal setup.
It's terrible. If you ask me, he gave me PSDT of what he did against Brentford last season. Honestly, Leno was attacking. It was right behind a Brentford player, and they had the goalkeeper that he should be free.
Yeah, you actually, as a goalkeeper in the boxes, you should be feared.
Exactly. I don't like Jens Lehmann. I don't like Jens Lehmann.
But his presence in boxes
was
just a dog. My dog. You don't want to want to collide with Lehmann.
Exactly. Brentford played a 1-1 draw against Everton. Brighton won. Leeds United 1-0. City, we thought we were going to lose on the night, but they came back on the afternoon. But they came back to defeat Crystal Palace 4-2 thanks to Alan hat-trick. But of course, Villa continued their woes, losing at home against West Ham United 1-0. Wolverhampton Wanderers played a 1-1 draw against Newcastle. Spurs played a 2-0 away victory against Nottingham Forest, while United won away to Southampton thanks to Bruno Fernandes goal, and we saw that coming off the back of their win against Liverpool on Monday. Just before we go on the show, one word from you guys, just one word, as Manchester United finally turned the corner. Sheyi.
I think I'll just say yes, and my reasons are quite clear. I think Eric Ten Hag, as a new coach, is also learning to understand how he wants to use his players, how he wants to play his team. Also, if you notice, the first two matches, they tried to play from the back. Against Liverpool, they went direct. When they interviewed, was it Bruno Fernandes, that why did they go direct? Is it because of the last two matches? He said not really, but because of this particular team. They understand that Liverpool will always play high line, and they will rather prefer to lob the ball above the high line and let their runners, Rashford and the likes, to run behind them. Which definitely means that, if you recall what I was saying about ETH then, that he should study the league, he should study each of those teams and play according to those teams. This is the EPL. You cannot say you want to kick from the back every time. If you don't have the personnel, you have to adapt. And that is what I'm seeing right now. He's trying to adapt. If you look at the game also over the weekend, he went direct like 75% of the whole game also, which means he's trying to adapt to the particular league, to each of the opponents he's playing, and also trying to use his players
Well, I don't worry,
in
you
a
have your
better way.
chance.
Okay,
worry.
I think I'm
Olawale,
done.
go ahead.
Olawale.
That's
What
where
about-
they have not. That's where they have not turned the tide. I think that big. The only thing is, I think Eric Ten Hag is probably just, let me say, being realistic with himself. Going direct against Liverpool, I can understand to an extent, but I think it's a bit of a lack of trust from the manager on the players he has in his team. If you do that against Liverpool, I understand two bad losses, you want a result. But okay, against Southampton, let me say probably the state of the pitch is another problem where it could probably be difficult, because I think Southampton intentionally left their
Their pitch.
look very, very bad. Probably I'll probably have to wait like 3 or 4 games. We've been here before. We see United probably giving you 1, 2, 3 victories, and before you know it, they go back to their old habits. There are still a lot of issues in that team that need to be addressed. Bruno is not the most smartest player that wants to. He's more of this hero ball kind of a guy. The center defense, in as much as I don't want to make it look solid, but in as much as I don't want to make much issues about Martinez's height, I think he will be targeted by a lot of teams, especially those middle table teams. He's going to be targeted. I still think there is not much. Again, I have my concern. I think with Anthony coming in now, he probably wants to play inverted wingers. But how productive is Jadon Sancho is going to be playing from the left? Is it going to be a Sancho? Is it going to be Rashford? Then, whichever way, if you want to be a big team, you need to be able to build at least from the back. I don't have a problem trying to go straight, but I don't think it's going to be sustainable.
But United is not a big team. Why you deceiving yourself?
Devo, what do you?
United is not a big team.
Okay,
We have just 2 or 3 big teams in England right now.
I'm not
Just
arguing
3 big teams in England.
I'm not arguing with you.
Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool. C'est fini.
And
Those are the big teams in England.
Let me finish now. I don't think it's a sustainable way of playing, trying to go that long, especially if you don't really have much, especially against teams that are going to sit very deep. You need to fashion out a way of creating. One thing about City is this: if you look at City, if you park 7 people at the back, they are very confident of a way they will open you up, and that is the key. You need to find out a consistent way of playing, and that is why I don't think anything has really changed
they've turned the
about
corner.
United. But I just think the only positive thing is the pragmatic side of him that probably came out against Liverpool. Somebody facing the reality. I think that could be help him in the early days.
That is not working.
And
If we
also
attempt to play from the back, they will kill us. I think that will probably help him in the transition phase. Before he eventually gets what he wants.
Olawale, I think I agree with you. I also think one of the good things he's doing for the team is also getting them back into the confidence level. I think those 2 wins will bring back the confidence. When he wants to play from the back, that will really help a lot.
You guys just play from the back against Arsenal.
First two games, losing against Brighton and Brentford is not actually good for the confidence, and also for the new players coming into the team. By the time they string together like 3 wins, I think the way he eventually wants to playing from the back will come.
Will come natural.
Yeah, Debo, let me just tell you this thing. Debo, who is Arsenal playing in the midweek? You are playing Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, yeah.
When is Man United Arsenal game? Is it on Sunday or on Monday?
Has to be
Sunday.
on Sunday.
On Sunday. Okay, that means
Yes.
by this time next week, the game will be over.
Yes.
Right in the table, Man United is beating Arsenal.
Man United is going to beat
agree
Arsenal.
with you.
Man United will beat
9th.
Arsenal.
Yeah. So we have one runaway guy that just came in right now. We're heading the show right now, but
Orakukachi.
because Oracle Kachi is there, Oracle Kachi, do you
Pleasure,
think United
pleasure to
have
be
turned a
here.
corner? Do you think
Yes,
United has turned a corner?
I think so. I think so. If you look at the game and the way they played against Liverpool, I thought they played with a little bit of a better swagger than the previous games. They were more certain of what they wanted to do, and I think that translated into how they handled Southampton over the weekend.
Over the weekend.
Um, I think they have, but there are tougher tests ahead. We thought they had turned the corner also during the preseason until the season itself started. So they need to show us a little bit of consistency. But I'm more optimistic than pessimistic that they turned the corner. How
And
much that will translate into
yeah.
challenging for the top four, I don't know. But yeah, I think there's a
Okay.
little bit more certainty now.
Kachi, just before we round up, Olawale said emphatically that United is going to defeat Arsenal in this week, in the course of this week. Do you
Who's
think?
playing?
Do you think that's going to happen?
Who's playing away from home?
I would assume it's Arsenal. It's going to be Old Trafford.
The truth is that uh, if it's at Old Trafford, maybe the crowd would probably push United over it. But like I said, there are tougher tests ahead. I'm not that as optimistic as I am. I'm not that optimistic. Arsenal are proving a slight mettle that I think United does not yet have, which is they play together for longer. They understand what the coach wants. I think that may translate into the pitch. I won't be surprised if it ends in a draw, but I also won't be surprised if Arsenal gets this.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Kachi, for rescuing me and my team today. That's the show. My name is Sinaleja Adeboale. Till we meet you again next weekend. Don't stop supporting sports.